Just relax and enjoy the ride.
In crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, in crowd, 815, 815.
Everyone always talks about what your last meal would be. Nobody ever asks what your last song would be. I'm Greg. He's Tom. This is your In Crowd 815 podcast for the, 21st day of March. Happy spring, everybody. The year 2026, the latest it has ever been.
In the history of mankind, there's a couple that come to mind. Edward Bear, last song. This is the last song I'll ever write for you. Great song. I might play it on Wednesday night. You better be there. But how about Goodbye Cruel World or Goodbye Stranger? Because it's a stranger.
It's the last dance. Last Dance, Frank Sinatra?
Last Dance is Andy Williams I don't know about Andy Williams. Donna Summer did the Last Dance.
Donna Summer.
And then Michael Bublé did it. I play it. Yeah, I usually play it. It's always the last song I play at a wedding reception.
It's fun.
Or any DJ gig I do.
We got a good show for you. And the person maybe still sleeping next to you, maybe give him a little nudge and say, hey, wake up. Greg and Tom are talking. Let's see what's going on within Crowd 815.
This little guy right here.
Little nudges from a...
Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Looks like a husky. Little husky?
He is.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a baby husky. Just
baby
like what's behind me. Right there.
Go
Huskies.
Yes. Today we're going to be talking with Sana. She's with Threads of Triumph, a new not-for-profit here in the 815 area. We'll learn all about that. And Rebecca Francis, who I think she has more jobs than I do, Tom. She's a busy lady. She's a dynamo of a lady, and I can't wait to unpack the things that she does around the 815 so you can learn all about the amazing Rebecca Francis. But first, we do have some things to take care of, including this. Oh, hold on. I didn't download the photo. It's coming. Our big number of the week this week.
Good help is hard to find.
Good help is, I had a day yesterday, man. Unpacking all the stuff from Thursday night's Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest, which we'll recap later. We won't do this at the top of the show. I will here at the top of the show, though, congratulate the team playing for the Family Counseling Services, sponsored by Green State Credit Union, for winning our $7,000 grand prize. Thanks to Medicare 411, the $7,000 grand prize did go to the team playing for Family Counseling Services of Rockford. So our big number of the week this week is 18,000, and our current race to 10 has Greg in the lead by a score of 3-2. 18,000 is the answer. Launch or lashes this week? Launch or lashes? We'll tell you at the end of the show today, and put your guess in the comments. Tom will text me his guess now because he doesn't want to do any Google searching. He's like that.
I don't want to do that. No.
You can Google search if you want to. I really don't care. I want someone to Google search and see if they can find the story that relates to 18,000, and if they can figure it out if it's launch or lashes. And even if you can't, a little fun story in the comments would be fun. I would really get a kick out of that. I think that'd be a lot of fun. All right.
I already sent it to you.
All right. Well, our first guest today, I'm not sure if we've ever met in person, to be quite honest with you. Maybe once, but she'll remind me of that if I'll ask forgiveness right now because I don't remember for sure. But I do know she's been very instrumental in helping us connect with other not-for-profits, and I very much appreciate Sana Ahmad joining us now here on the In Crowd 815 podcast. Good morning, Sana.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
I'm officially throwing out the invite to come to trivia, one of my trivia events, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Make it Wednesday, play on Greg's team, and then we can officially meet face to face.
Yes. Come play on the In Crowd 815 team.
Or you can play with Ren on Monday nights.
She's been asking. So if I played with you, she would definitely be a little.
Oh, she would again. Yeah, she would give you that eye. Oh yeah, you don't want that. You don't want that.
Your schedule's your schedule. If you're only available Wednesday night and not Monday night, then you come to Lou and help us out. So, well, let's learn about all things sauna. Are you a native Rockfordian? Did you grow up here in the Rockford area?
No, I actually moved a few weeks before COVID, like lockdown in
Oh my.
2020. Yes. Yeah. So I was an recent undergrad from Indianapolis. Didn't know where I was going. I was working with Amazon, so they just kind of drop you wherever as a new grad. And they told me I'm
Left
going
you
to Rockford,
wherever.
Illinois, like a month prior to moving. And then 2 weeks prior, I moved into Rockford at 23 years old, and lockdown happened. So I think it was my
Wow.
second day of work when lockdown actually went into effect. So I was extremely just uncomfortable, did not like Rockford, didn't know what was going on. I was by myself.
Yeah.
My coworkers were my lifeline because we were 100% on site. We didn't, not go to work because we were a warehouse. So that was essentially kind of like my plug of community for that time. So no, super grateful for that experience. But crazy, crazy time when I came to Rockford, and honestly didn't think I would last more than a year and a half here. And here I am sitting on 6. So it's pretty crazy.
You were meeting people for the first time wearing masks.
Yes. Yes. That it
How
was really
strange.
weird.
How strange is that, man? That'd be
Yeah.
crazy. So where did you go to school? What was your, we always want to try to make fun of someone's high school mascot. So that's what we're poking at here. Did you have
So
a
I grew up in Northwest Indiana, Chesterton High School, which is a Trojan, right by
Chesterton
Indiana
Trojan?
Dunes. And then in college, I went to Indiana University. So we have the Trident
Hmm.
The
logo.
Trojan. Wow. Okay.
And you have a national championship under your belt.
Oh yeah, yeah. When I used to be in
Yeah.
school, no one used to go to the games. They used to pay us to go to the games. Like they used to bus us
Wow.
and give us $20 meal vouchers or something to spend, on campus because that's how bad the attendance was.
Wow.
And we're sitting at
Mhm.
national championships, so it's honestly really crazy, and I'm so proud of the school.
I can't imagine.
Oh, it's
That's a
amazing.
good gig if you can
Absolutely
get it,
amazing.
Tom. Get paid to go to watch football.
Oh yeah,
Sure, I'll do it. I'll do it. Give me McNeese State tickets. I'll go. I'll go. I don't care.
All right. So you graduate from college from Indiana University, you get a job with Amazon, and they say we're sending you to Rockford.
yes,
So you come to Rockford, and 2 weeks later, it gets shut down. But you had to work. You're an essential worker, right? And working in a warehouse, basically. So
hmm
at least you're still interacting with human beings, and then kind of meeting people, even though you're masked up.
correct. Yeah, very weird time. I do human resources, so we were the ones answering all the questions. And again, I'm at the young age, and now I look back, and I'm 29 now. At 23, I just think about it sometimes. I'm like, I cannot believe the things I had to deal, just moving out here by myself and then working during the pandemic and then answering these questions for thousands of people, to tell them what's going on. And,
Wow.
so it was a good experience, though. I'm really happy that I went through it. It really did help build my skills. I pivoted from Amazon to Ulta Beauty. And then from Ulta Beauty, I pivoted from there. I actually got laid off last summer. However, now I'm at Swedish American Hospital. So now I'm local to Rockford, and honestly, I think it's great, just because I've actually grown with the city, and this is where I want to be. So everything really worked out.
Good. That's great to hear. That's great to hear. It's it. I you might not be able to answer this question. I'm just throwing it out there because of what you went through at Amazon and that weird situation that we were all in. Can you remember one of those, like any of the strangest questions you got from employees? Since you're part of HR, you were probably getting all kinds of weird questions, like you said, thousands of people you had to communicate with. Can you remember any funny, odd questions that anybody asked you about when it came to the whole COVID response and all the stuff that was going on at work? Was there anything that sticks out as being kind of funny or weird
Gosh,
about
so I think one of the funny things was we really did implement those like pool noodles. People would wear those. People would put those pool noodle hats,
it?
and
Yes.
they would actually extend it to 6 feet. I mean, like managers were doing it. Like it was just so interesting. And we're also an airport, so you had to walk through the screeners and make sure you're screened and you don't have anything on you. So they had to literally like get scanned with all their noodles and stuff on them.
Oh my gosh.
Um, So that was really funny. And then we had these like temperature gauge things to make sure we didn't have fevers when we came in. Well, when it was summer, our heads would get hot. So basically everyone would have a fever
Everyone.
of like 98 degrees or above. So we had to wait. So I thought that was pretty funny as well. So yeah, little things like that. But otherwise, just crazy times and doesn't feel real. It feels like 2019 was maybe like 2 years ago, but it's not. So it was just a weird time.
You know, there are residual effects of COVID. I
Oh, yeah.
don't know where I was the other day. It said, please stand behind this line, which is
Right.
6 feet away. You can take the tape up now. Okay, we're not.
We don't
I
do it
remember. I remember 1 year after COVID, after we stopped wearing masks, I was crowded into Wrigley Field, right next to a girl, and I was literally, my daughter was on one side, this other gal was on the other side, and Wrigley Field, the seats are just normal size, and but your arms are touching. I'm like, wow, we've come a long way in a short while, haven't we? About a year later, because COVID was March 17th. It was St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah.
And then my battery looks like it might be dying. I will be right back, Gregors. I'm sorry.
Go
I had a
get your
full
plug.
battery when we started. Hold on. I am so
Go get
sorry.
your plug.
Sorry about that.
All
You
right.
are good.
Well, we need to learn about threads of triumph here. So
Yeah.
before, when people ask you what threads of triumph is, it's so new. You probably don't have a lot of people asking you yet. So tell us about the germination, the growth of the beginning of the threads of triumph not for profit.
Yeah, absolutely. So funny you say that. So I am on the board for Rockford Sexual Assault Counseling. And last year, so this is where after 2023, I was like, I need to find community. I need to give it one more go. If I can't find, community, I gotta dip or find something else, right? So I really put myself out there. I joined Rockford Sexual Assault Counseling as a board member. And from there, I didn't feel like it was contributing much to the board. So I asked the director, can I put on an event? And I used to do this all the time in Indianapolis when I was in school for sexual assault awareness. And she said, of course, go ahead and do it. This will help us with funding. They actually got cut in some funding. So I went in and created a fashion show for sexual assault awareness, and then proceeds would go back to Rockford Sexual Assault Counseling. Now, this wasn't an actual legitimate nonprofit when we had our first event, June 26th of 2025. So even this photo you're seeing, I mean, this was still just me as a board member just doing this, right? We created this event in 3 months. So we started probably now of last year. And then, by June 26th, we had our fashion show. We had the mayor come out. We had Jen Cacciapolio come out to speak. We had a military highlight as well. So we even had the military close out the fashion show because of the rates of sexual assault for them. It's extremely high. So I made sure that we highlighted them in the show. So, what we did was essentially just bring awareness to the nonprofit Rockford Sexual Assault Counseling, and then also just promote conversations and promote a night where we do dedicate something to survivors. Rockford Sexual Assault Counseling is a small local nonprofit. They have a ton of things going on. Even the director herself is a therapist. So they are doing a million jobs there. So I want to step in as a board member to say, why not? I try to help you out with something. People need to learn about you and what you guys do. It's free for anyone in Winnebago County. It is for survivors and their families. They give medical advocacy, legal advocacy, therapy, financial assistance. They'll even come to the hospital if a assault is reported, and they will have clothes for you because, fun fact, hospitals do not offer you clothes. If you are assaulted, they have to collect your clothes. So you are left with nothing. And that's where Rockford Sexual Assault comes in. And why they were created is because they were the volunteers that would come into the hospital to help them out and advocate and kind of walk them through next steps. So they serve clients from 0 to 80 years old. Some people come 20 years later. Some people come right away. They do children, adults. It affects everyone. There's no discrimination in assault, right, or sexual violence. No. So they serve a large community in Rockford. Now, after the event, we had 126 people show up. So I thought, well, proof of concept is there. People want to support. Let's turn this into a nonprofit. During my layoff over the summer, that is where I took full swing at let's turn this into a nonprofit. Let's create a board. Let me, make the website and get everything going. Everything was successful. And now we're just going to keep rolling every year with this event. I don't know what more is to come, but right now we just have our yearly fashion show that is scheduled for June 4th of this year. So we'd love for you guys to come. And then we actually have a charity game with the rugby team. So you guys will be coming to the home game. That will actually be a charity game for Threads of Triumph. So we have a ton of just a lot of overlap with rugby and Threads of Triumph, me being a player and, folks just I'm from that community being such big supporters. So long story short, that is how Threads of Triumph became a thing. Did not think it was going to be anything other than just me doing something on the side for Rockford Sexual Assault Counseling. Now it's a nonprofit itself for sexual assault awareness. And we do still partner with Rockford Sexual Assault Counseling, and proceeds will benefit them after the show. So we love to, have it at the Standard. It's a rooftop fashion show. This year we will have a keynote survivor who is a military vet. So she'll be speaking as well. The mayor will be speaking. We have cocktail hour. We have a magician coming, live music, DJ. So, this is going to be a great event Thursday night in the summer. Definitely hoping that we get some more people.
There we go. Save the date, June 4th, 2026 at the Standard, which is a beautiful, if you have not been in the Standard yet, folks, you got to get to the Standard and check it out. It's right next to the pavilion where you go to the City Market downtown. And what they've done to that building is nothing short of amazing. They're
great partners. They're great advocates for those in the community looking, to have their nonprofit events there. They want to help out Rockford community.
Yes, absolutely. Dealing with such a touchy subject, is the goal to eventually have like certified counselors on staff or something? I guess what is the broader range, longer range goal for Threads of Triumph here in Rockford?
Yeah, so I'm not sure. Right now we're just a group of people that really want to bring awareness and advocacy. I have thought about counseling services or even just having events where we do self-wellness or self-help for those that do want to obtain it, whether it's therapy, yoga therapy, stuff along that lines. Just because Rockford Sexual Assault Counseling has their own, services. I think they're doing a great job. I would love to just keep pushing funding for them. But, more to come as we continue to grow it. I would love to also do this in Indianapolis where I went to college. So, I definitely want to make this kind of, Indiana Rockford thing, just to keep spreading awareness.
Awesome. Well, we're going to put the Facebook page here in the chat. So if you're watching along with us this morning, on Rumble or YouTube or Facebook or Twitch. We're on Twitch now, friends.
Nice.
What about that? If you're on those platforms with us, you should be able to just click on the link in the chat and go right to the Threads of Triumph page. If you're on another platform or somewhere else, look up our Spotify page and the link will be in the description of the episode today, which, by the way, today's episode is episode number 311. I like a 311. That sounds like a good number to me. 311. It's almost like 411. 311 means something, Tom, right? 411 is information.
It means you call 311 for a great show.
All right.
That's what it means.
I don't know. We make stuff up sometimes as we go along, son. I apologize.
Yeah, we do. I may have made that one up.
We may have made that one up. So if someone wants to plug in to Threads of Triumph, are there some... You got donate and volunteer opportunities here on top. So I want to start with the volunteer opportunities. What kind of volunteer opportunities do you foresee either for this year or in the coming years?
Yeah, so definitely for right now, just volunteering for the day of, right? It's a 2-hour event. We'll have raffle items. We're going to have the fashion show. We're going to need people there. We're going to need people for check-in, ushers, floaters, and we even have an interactive piece where they'll interact with guests and have them do an activity. So cleanup, setup. So we'll have tons of things going on then. And even for our rugby event, we'll need people to table for us and just, collect information and just spread the word about the event coming up.
Okay. And if someone were to donate to you, it is a not-for-profit. So you're
Yes.
registered with the city already, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
So donations. Every story of triumph begins with a single thread of hope. Threads of Triumph celebrates the resilience, courage, and determination of individuals who rise above adversity. So by giving, you become part of the fabric that supports brighter futures. This is did you catch inspiration from another organization? Is this something that kind of fell in your lap somewhere? How did this come about in your mind?
So yeah, the fashion show piece, I think I just love fashion. I love dressing up. I love, how we can turn that into an art form. And it also kind of gives, I always am so confident whenever I do fashion shows. I've done a few in my lifetime. And I feel so great and confident and strong doing that. And I love to give that opportunity to survivors that do want to walk, or those that support the mission to kind of strut their stuff. And again, a fun piece of the event that people really enjoy. And art is so important in our community, and I think something that's healing as well.
I got to tell you, even in my 50s now, it still hits me when I dress up for something, how my whole attitude changes. I mean, your mindset does truly shift just by the clothing that you wear. It really does.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why I'm still surprised by that every time that happens. Like, oh, wow, hey, I can look professional. Here I am in my t-shirt doing my podcast this morning, but as we were getting started this morning, I'm like, usually I have like a coat here ready to slip on, and maybe if I need to get my mindset to a different level, I'll slip on that little sport coat and try to take things up a notch in my brain, even if it's just in my own brain, to level up. You know what I'm saying? So threadsoftriumph.org. We've been sharing some of the pages here. And there's the rugby for Threads of Triumph, date and time to be determined, location to be determined for that.
So I'll need to update that. Forgot to update that before the podcast stream.
There you go. It'll be updated here on the Threads of Triumph webpage. So is there anything else that we did not ask you about this morning that you wanted to make sure we talk about before we transition?
No, I think you guys hit it pretty well. Just want to make sure everyone knows we're just a platform. However, we are a platform that points you to the resources we have locally here. Continue to support RSAC, continue to support us. Hopefully we'll see you guys out in the summer.
Awesome. Well, it's a really neat thing that you're doing. And I know there's going to be, there's a lot of people needing help in different areas, and the wide range of situations is it's got to be a challenge, because you have you have those, like you said, you've had those who were 18, 20 plus years ago where it happened to them, and it's still affecting them today, and they still need some counseling, some help, to talk through things. And then on the complete other side of that, every so often you hear that story of someone who fakes it, and they need counseling too. They need some help to know that, okay, maybe they weren't actually sexually abused, but they say that they are, and now they need to be. There's the whole trust thing, but there's the counseling thing that needs to be a part of that, to find out why that they're saying what they're saying and doing what they're doing. So
right.
If I could add just one thing to it, there's an embarrassment factor, and this is a lot of times why people don't come forward.
Correct.
They're embarrassed. They almost feel ashamed. They feel like, this is my fault, because that's what the perp does. They make it feel like it's your fault.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have been in that. Anyway. And if we can get past that, if we can, and be an advocate, be a friend, hold their hand and say, hey, listen, this was not your fault. And in order to move forward, get closure or whatever, but in order to catch the person who did it, you probably have to do the tough thing and come forward and go through that, whatever you feel like, the embarrassment or whatever. But that's what stops the cycle, because people get thrown in jail. So
and
I've
love
had quite a bit of Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I love that you mentioned that, because that is the whole point of the event, right? We have people, and whenever I connect with someone about this nonprofit, I mean, they say, hey, it's happened to me, or I've known someone that it's happened to. So this is a very common issue. Like I said, and it affects 1 in 4 people. So, this is a high rate number. And it's just, again, just very, very amazing. We'll have our keynote speaker be a military sexual assault survivor. So that's going to be a great story to hear. It's happening right here in our country right now, in our backyard. So we need to address it, and we need to let people know they're not alone, and they have resources.
That's right. All right. Good deal.
Right. Very good.
Well, we're going to bring on our next guest and do a little bit of a trivia transition with Tom. Here we go. I don't think she's ready yet to be on the screen, so I won't bring her on the screen yet. But Rebecca, give me a thumbs up when you're ready to come on the screen here, so we can get you on our transition trivia with Tom. There she is. All righty. Good morning, Rebecca. Good to see you.
Good morning. How are you guys?
You looking good?
Good.
Yeah,
Great.
don't worry. Don't worry. You're beautiful. It's all good.
Early.
I
He's ready for the fashion
can't
show.
fix my hair. I have none.
All right, Tom, what do you got for trivia for us this week?
All right. As I say, every single time we do trivia, these questions are not designed to make you feel bad or feel like you don't know anything, because they're just general questions. And one of the funny things about trivia, I play music at my trivia events, and everybody's like, I didn't know those songs, but the song you just played, I know that song. Why couldn't that have been in it? But the fact is, if it was in the trivia list of songs that I played, because we have a round where you have to name the artist, you wouldn't have gotten it because your brain's not focused on it. It's almost like we freeze. So anyway, all right.
We can't do music trivia on our show because YouTube would shut it down. So we can't do music trivia
That's
on
right.
this show.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Doggone YouTube. All right. Here we go. These are just random generic questions. Here we go. Question number 1. What is the longest river in the world? Is it the Amazon or the Nile? Once again, what is the longest river in the world? Is it the Amazon or the Nile? What did you say?
I would say Nile.
We're going with Nile. I know Amazon's a little bit more windy of a river, but I think Nile still's longer.
It is.
Awesome. All right.
I
always hope we get 4 out of his 7 questions right on this weekend thing. So if we can get 4 out of these 7, I feel pretty good about the rest of the weekend. We got one.
You got a good start on this one. Now, ladies, I don't know if you're basketball fans. I don't know if you watch the NCAA. I threw this question in there because it has to do with Wisconsin, and Greg's all about Wisconsin. Go Packers. So what's that?
Go ahead.
Here we
Say
go.
your question.
Here we go. The Wisconsin Badgers were the number 5 seed in this year's NCAA tournament, and they fell victim to the 12-5 upset. Who beat them? Was it High Point University or Xavier?
The not real university they call High Point University beat them by 1 point. Yeah, it was High Point.
Yep. All right. Now, ladies, I did not mean to imply that you didn't know your basketball or you didn't know anything like that. I
actually played basketball, but I did not know that one.
I did not know that one at all.
Neither did I.
I'm a Wisconsin Badgers fan. I'm a Wisconsin Badgers fan, but I'm not such a homer that I thought they were going to get to the Final Four this year. I did think they were going to get out of the first weekend, but I didn't pick them to make it past.
I never, ever would have expected them to lose to High Point. You know where High Point is?
I don't even know where it is. All I know is it's like a fake college. I'm
exactly.
being a little rude right now. But that's
yeah.
If you look them up, it costs like $272,000 for a 4-year degree at High Point, and they have like steakhouses on the campus, and they have like they specifically built a model of the interior of an airplane so they can teach students how to interact with other passengers on an airplane in case they ever meet an executive and need to make a contact. That's a class at High Point.
Well, that's called real.
Sign me up.
I actually love it. I'm like,
it sounds amazing. It sounds.
I'm gonna look it up now. This is great.
Too. I'm just saying it sounds fake.
Yeah.
But kudos to anyone who can afford that. Kudos to you.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Greg, we call that sour grapes.
That's called
okay.
sour
grapes.
grapes.
Weren't that great anyway.
And I don't like wine, so I don't need any of those sour grapes. Go ahead.
There you go. Anyway, High Point is in North Carolina, just so you know.
All right.
Okay. Who was the primary author of the Declaration of Independence? Was it John Hancock or Thomas Jefferson?
Jefferson.
Once again, who was the primary author of the Declaration of Independence? Was it John or Thomas Jefferson? And what did we say?
Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thomas
Jefferson.
Jefferson is correct. Now, the funny thing is, John Hancock was the first signer, and that's why he wrote his name so. So it's a really big one right in the middle. He was the first signer, and that was a blank U to the Brits. So over there. That's why
He wanted to make sure the king
signed it
could
so
read
big.
his handwriting. That's right. He wanted the king to make sure the king could read that.
That's where the term John Hancock's signature comes from. So
You got it. You got it. Put your John Hancock right here, please.
mm-hmm.
All right. All right. Tom locked up. Did I lock up? Nope. Just Tom locked up at the moment. Da, da, da. Come on, Tom. Get the internet back. While we're waiting for Tom's connection to come back, just a quick little recap of our in-crowd 815.
Am I locked up?
Test. Oh, now I can hear you. Come on, buddy. We've been pretty lucky with our internet connections on Saturday mornings. We've had very few major technical issues. I can hear you, Tom. Yes.
Okay. All right. We are back. We're back. Okay. So this is a different computer that I'm using today. So we're working out the bugs. All right. Here we go. Question number 4.
All right.
3-0. That's very good. What is the process by which plants convert sunlight into food?
Isn't that photosynthesis?
I was gonna say it, but I was like, I'll just wait till he gives us
photosynthesis. Was that question 4 or 5? Right. I think that was question 5.
That was no, it's 4. That was 4.
Okay.
Here's number 5.
Smarter than
what is the name of the iconic?
Me too.
Well, good. You ladies, well, Greg too.
Give me my high
you
point.
Ladies,
give me my high point.
Yeah, there you go. High point. You can have a steak with that too. All right. What is the name of the iconic ship which travels through space in Star Wars?
Starship. Star Wars. Star Wars is Millennium Falcon.
That is correct.
Millennium
Falcon. Correct.
All right.
I never watched Star Wars, so I wouldn't.
All right.
Know that one.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I've never seen it.
Tom's never seen Star Wars.
Never watched a single one. Not Star Wars or any of the other ones that come along. I didn't even see what's the one with dark helmet, Spaceballs. I never even saw that one. Yeah.
All
right. This famous speech delivered by Abraham Lincoln began with the line 7 years ago. How many years is that?
Like, can you repeat that?
7 years.
Yeah, this famous speech delivered by Abraham Lincoln began with the line 7 years ago. How many years is that?
Ooh, I guess I don't know that.
So a score is 20 years.
So 4. Okay.
4 score.
So
7.
87
should be 87.
87 is correct. You guys are 6-0.
Wow, we're on a roll.
6-0. 6-0. Here we go. This is it. This determines whether you reach the Mount Rushmore of Tom's Saturday morning in Crowd 815 trivia. Here we go.
People have done it.
Let's do it.
This will be a tough one, especially for those of you who were not necessarily around then. In what year did Nunzio, then by the way, it's always a local trivia, Rockford trivia or something local. In what year did Nunzio's in Loves Park open for business? I will tell you this, not in their current location. They were on a storefront right around the corner, real close to where it was. It was a kind of a storefront. It was a wonderful place. But in what year did Nunzio's in Loves Park open for business? Was it 1981, 1985, or 1989? Once again, in what year did Nunzio's in Loves Park? Let me just read it one more time. In what year did Nunzio's open in Loves Park open for business? 81, 85, 89.
They just changed ownership. They just sold to
They did.
And I want to say it was just after their 40th anniversary. So 85, I think, is what it is, but I'm not sure.
I was going to guess 85.
1985?
We'll go with the team.
Is that your consensus?
That's our final answer.
1981.
1981.
81. And here's the funny thing. When I was thinking about this question, I went there with my mom and dad on the 4th of July or right around there. It was like 1982. I got married in 86 and I was still living at home. So I guess it could have been then, but it was 1981 when like 82 when I went there, 82 or 83. Cause I was still fairly young. I might've been just, years old. I don't know.
Well, hey, we got
I
6
might
out of
have been just
7.
21 or 22.
That's worth celebrating right there. Woohoo! 6 out of 7.
6, 7.
Trivia.
6, 7. That is really good. That is really good because there are only a handful of teams. I think there were 3 or 4 teams that have hit 7-0, and about a dozen that have hit 6-1, and then the rest are 5-2, and whatever.
We did
so really
very
good.
well. We did
really
very
good
well.
job.
Well, Sana, I really appreciate you carving out
Yep.
time to joining us today. We hope your event goes swimmingly well. Not swimmingly. What would be a threads of triumph adjective to throw in there, Tom? It goes.
I hope you have this thing sewn up.
Sewn up.
Oh,
Yeah, there we go.
Love that.
Find the pun. Find the
Yeah.
dad joke. Throw that in there. But anyway, it's wonderful what you're doing, and we look forward to
sowing the seeds of recovery. How's that?
There we go.
Love it.
There we
Yeah,
go.
hope to see you guys there. I'll definitely be reaching out with an invite.
Yep.
Awesome. Thank you, Sana. Have a great rest of your
Take care.
weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Sounds good.
Dun, dun, dun. Uh-oh. There we go. Let's bring her back on the screen. Rebecca, there we go. Welcome on to the In Crowd 815 podcast. I got to introduce you a little bit here, Rebecca, because you are a dynamo. You are amazing. Not only part of Nicne and consulting with Nicne, but has been vice president of the Soar Awards and Soar Radio for the last 9 years. More recently, a part of the adjunct faculty at Rockford University. And just doing all kinds of stuff. Ignite Change Solutions. I get accused of not sleeping. Trust me, I sleep. I bet you get accused of not sleeping too once in a while, right?
It's rough.
So
rough.
let's start from the beginning, like we like to do with all of our guests. Are you a native Rockfordian? Did you grow up here in Rockford?
I did. I grew up Rockford, born and raised at Rockford Memorial Hospital.
All right. And then what
Me
was
too.
your
Me
school
too.
experience? Did you? I know a little bit, but I don't know all of it. So where did you go to school as a kid?
Okay. So I started off in the gifted program at King Elementary. And then I went to West. And then from there, my parents had the bright idea of me going to Christian Life. And so I left the gifted program and went to Christian Life. And then from there, I really enjoyed watching the people across the pathway at Guilford. And I just used to stand there and looking like, Mommy, I really want to go there. And she let me go there for 1 year. That wasn't the atmosphere that she wanted for me. And so because I lived in Winnebago, we moved to Winnebago. She had me finish off in Winnebago, but I did dual credit. So I was able to graduate early. So that's kind of how I ended my career. So I feel like I didn't have a stable high school like everyone else. I was at 2 and 3.
The Eagle Viking Indian.
Yeah, I've had them all. So,
The Eagle Viking. And then after high school, tell us a little bit about what your career arc and what led you to where you are today.
Yes, I went to Alabama A&M, and I did that for almost 3.5 years, almost graduated. And then I did have my daughter in college who was sick and had a tracheostomy, and we have full-time home nursing and all the things. And so I was not able to finish school at the time. And I later on, a few years later, got married. And so once I got married, my husband allowed me to go back to school. So I did night school at Upper Iowa to wrap up my first degree. And then obviously at that point, I felt like I had my wings. And so I went for my second degree. And now I am wrapping up, hopefully in the next year or so, with my law school entrance. And then I'll be done with all the things that I sought out to do, and now moving into my final career as an attorney and hopefully one day judge.
And one day, okay, so that's the goal. The goal is to be a judge someday. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome. So as far as attorney stuff goes, you're a licensed attorney now.
No, I don't want to say
Yeah.
that. No, I'm taking my LSAT right now, and
Gotcha. Okay.
the first time was torture. So I got my score back, and I was like, I could do better. So I am actually in the second phase, I take it again in 2.5 weeks. So just making sure that I understand concepts that I missed so that I have the speed that I need to get through. And then, yeah, that's it.
Law school and medical school students have my highest respect. The grit and determination it takes to get those degrees and to go through all those processes, because it's not, kudos to anyone. I didn't finish my bachelor's degree, so I can say nothing. But my path went a completely different way. But to be able to have the grit and determination to go through those processes and get this level to this level, knowing that you still have 4, 5, 6 rungs on the ladder to get up. That's awesome. That's awesome. So kudos to.
It's okay to also, like, I've gotten to the place where, like, I didn't get the score I wanted. I think typically I would have been like crushed and wanted to tell people that I got the score. It's the journey. Like, and the older I get, it's like, it's okay. I'm going to do it, and I'll just go down the journey, whatever it takes. If I have to take it one more time, I did it, and it is what it is. So yeah.
Your story becomes your
It
story.
makes the end result that much better.
Yeah. It's like, you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be perfect. Yeah.
Well, the main thing we asked you to come on today to talk about, and I want to talk about all the things, anything you want to talk about, I definitely want to talk about. But the one thing that was definitely wanted to start with was your involvement with Nicne and how you're consulting with the Northern Illinois Center for Nonprofit Excellence. Tell us a little bit about how that came about for you.
Yeah, I think Martisha Brown, a good friend of mine, was on the team. And then Pam, I believe Pam reached out. I've been with them a while now, at least 4, 5, I don't know, 4 years maybe. And they reached out, and typically, I guess how Nicne works is they just have, like, on this page a bunch of consultants that do various different work. And according to who needs the work at Nicne, they'll reach out and say, hey, would you be interested? And that's kind of how I partner with them. So I'm still Ignite under Nicne's work.
Gotcha. And then explain what Ignite is all about.
Yeah. So consultants at Nicne all vary in skill set. And so depending on the background in which you serve, mine is more change management, operational management. I do a lot of equity work, strategic planning, right? So depending on what your skill set is, there's a group of people that are all amazingly talented. And obviously there's even more probably in our city, but on this team, and they are asked by Nicne, people ask Nicne, hey, I need a facilitator or a strategic plan or, something of that nature. And they then facilitate out which consultant they'd like to do the project based off the skill set.
It was amazing to me how many not-for-profit organizations don't have what's the word? I mean, the long-term planning really in writing, something that they can convey to their board members and to many of them do, but it's amazing how many don't really have that long-term plan in writings for their board members to know where this train is going.
Yeah. And I think it has a lot to do with finances, because most big companies have, the money and the finances to hire big consultants to, walk through the life of a party. But I think that's the beauty of Nicne is they work with companies and organizations within the range that they can afford to ensure that they get what they need. So I think that is one really beautiful thing I know about Nicne.
So the not-for-profits that we talk to and have on the show, and the 815 area folks who are maybe thinking about starting a not-for-profit and they're kind of wondering where to start, is Nicne something that can help them figure all that kind of stuff out? Is that something that you would encourage people to plug into and say, hey, come to this class or come to this seminar? Is there stuff like that Nicne does that you're involved in? I'm still learning about all the things Nicne does.
Yeah, see, I would say reach out to Pam Reidenbach or Billy to do those things. They can definitely guide you in the right direction. I think that is mainly what the center is about. Is I don't know that they set up the entity itself, but they have the resources to support people, and it may be those that are already established. But again, I wouldn't put anything past them at Nicne. They are amazing, and they have a ton of resources to support.
Nice. And then the rest of the stuff that you're up to, I want to focus on the stuff that you want to talk about this morning. So is there something specific that you want to make sure we talk about today in the world of Rebecca Francis, the things that you're doing, Ignite Change Solutions? Maybe start there, I guess.
Yeah. So at Ignite, I do a lot of things, right? So again, I work a lot with Nicne. I also like we're in the middle of a project now for GVP, the gun violence prevention for the city. Um, I would say the city because it is in the city of Rockford, but the city of Rockford has their own GVP department. But there's so many things happening, right? So Ignite gets the privilege of doing so many things. Like we don't really do one thing in particular. And I think that's what makes us so cool. I really consider or have been considered the Olivia Pope, right? So when I go to organizations, essentially I'm looking more for the problem of practice. That is how the organization works. And so for me, because my initial background is problem solving and operations management, my goal is to understand the complexity of the client's issue and then work with them to solve it. That is mainly all I do. And so that's why sometimes it feels like I do a lot of things. It essentially all is the same thing, right? Which my process doesn't change and my mindset kind of is the same everywhere I go. It just depends on what they're struggling with. And if they're saying I need a facilitation or if I need you to speak or if I need you to do this, it all still is tied back into solving a problem for someone else.
Okay. So whatever age and stage your not-for-profit is at, if you're feeling a little bit stuck somewhere, maybe it's time to contact Rebecca and get that all fleshed out. And that's a process some people are okay with doing, and other people really struggle with that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you're internally in the organization as well, because at the end of the day, sometimes you need an outside support or opinion. When you're inside of an organization, it's easier for people to maybe not want to work on change when they have to hear it from colleagues or even sometimes their supervisor. It seems to be that the supervisor can tell you the exact same thing. And then a consultant comes in and now it's golden. Um,
Yeah.
so those are things that I notice when working with organizations, but I work closely with the CEOs and teams to ensure that we're executing what their vision is.
Probably one of the best pieces of advice I ever got back when I was still doing full-time radio was I want to say it was a marketing seminar that I went to, and the guy that was talking was like, look, what you need to understand is you're inside the bottle. Everyone else is outside the bottle looking at your label, but you can't see your label. Trust me, you think you know what your label says, but you can't see your label. So the
Yeah.
consultant comes in and says, here's what your label says on your bottle. You're in the bottle.
Mhm.
You're inside the package. Here's what
Yeah.
the outside of your package says and what it's saying and screaming to the public. And is that the message you really want out there?
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not. So you got to have that consultant to turn the light on a little bit.
Yeah. And I enjoy it. Yeah. I think um, working with so many organizations, I get the opportunity to learn new things too. So I'm also constantly learning. I've never arrived. When I come to an organization, there's sometimes where they may stump me. So I get to listen in and then my brain just gets to work. So yeah, it's really awesome to watch and get to see people operate in their skill sets, and I always remind people they're the experts. I'm just the listening ear that facilitates the rest of the conversation.
Well, you've been doing it long enough now, going on like almost 5 years. Has there been a story? I mean, without naming names, if you don't need to name names and stuff like that, has there been a story of change that you can kind of put your finger on and say, you know what, I was part of helping to facilitate that? Is there an organization story, again, without naming anybody, that you could kind of maybe talk about just a little bit as to how this all might work?
Yeah, I won't say what cities, but I've had the opportunity to support at the city level, which was very enlightening for me. Going in and learning about different cities and what they need support in, and even learning the dynamics, because I think that's important for before you want to quote unquote change something and or tell people what to do. You have to understand the dynamic, right? And so that is always very interesting to me. Every community is different. And everybody has reasons why they do things the way that they do them. And so having the opportunity to sit with them, learn from them, and then say, okay, you guys are amazing. Let's talk about that. And so I do, my tagline always says, transforming things one solution at a time. That is really important to me. I think a lot of organizations have run with the idea that there's a million things we can do. And I like to spend time focusing on one thing that we can do. And then once we do that one thing well, then that's usually how I get asked back and I get to stay with organizations for long periods of time. It's because they get to see small wins before the big win.
It's funny how human we can be sometimes, where we want to eat the whole apple in one bite. And sometimes you got to just take one bite. Just take one bite. We'll eat the rest of the apple eventually, but let's start with one bite.
Yeah, and I work with a lot of not-for-profits with Ignite as well, and we spend a lot of time supporting them in various different areas. A lot of times it is personnel. I noticed that like a lot of times it's getting their team to a place of leadership development, organizational development, and having the capacity to lead their teams effectively. So we get the opportunity to do that, and that's a fun one. BMO, that was probably the best one for me when it comes to hands-on learning. I got to bring in my mother-in-law who is disabled, and we even walked through with the staff what the patrons would experience in a hands-on learning experience. That was a fun opportunity, and I brought in somebody to film so that we could kind of talk through what that experience was like. And I get a lot of feedback that they do a good job down there. So, and then when I go to events, I feel like they do a good job, and so that was a fun opportunity. I really love the BMO Harris family. So yeah, so there's a lot of fun things that I get to do, and no day is the same.
Oh, I believe Greg kind of left us.
Okay.
Can you still hear me, Rebecca?
There we go.
There we go.
Can
Yeah.
you can hear me, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. He's back. He's back.
That
But I
was
was going to have to jump in and ask a question.
wonderful. The good news is it keeps recording. It keeps going with whoever's still online. So it still goes. It's just,
Nice.
yeah, it gets a little goofy there. So you got, the last thing I heard was you got to work with your mom on
Yeah,
this thing at
Jefferson
BMO.
is not so good this morning.
Yeah, that's my mother-in-law. Yeah, she has ALS, and so I brought her in on this training to be an exemplar and a support. So she was able to support and co-train alongside me to give them the highest level of learning, which was really fun. They were in like a simulation. We did the Olympics theme where they had to see who would win the the top tier of it all. So it was a lot of fun.
Well, I want to make sure to share your website here in the chat here so people can go right to that with one click off of the comment section here on Twitch or Rumble or Facebook or YouTube. And come on, there we go. There's your team. You want to talk about your team?
Yeah, they're actually my family. So my sister, Dr. Angelique Malone, I work a lot in the education space, lots of education opportunities, whether it's higher ed or I work with, actually CPS is a client of mine. So I work with CPS, Chicago Public Schools. And so my sister is more of the expert when it comes to education because she is got her doctorate, her type. So she has all the things that she needs to equip us with more of the deep dive in information. I'm more of your strategist. So I spend a lot of time in strategy development. So if a school district or a school calls, we're looking at what is the problem of practice. And then she is the subject matter expert. She kind of dives in. And then my brother is Andre Malone, and he works in the corporate world. So he understands corporate leadership at a very high level. He's been doing it for a very long time, working in the top tier leadership of AT&T. And so it has been a great opportunity to have, when I looked at, and obviously we plan to expand our team, but the goal was to look at it from a model of who are the subject matter experts when clients call, so that it's not just always Rebecca. Rebecca is not a subject matter expert in everything. And so I look to continue to expand over time. That is the model. And people use me the same way that I ask for my team. So people call which is going back to Nicne, very similar approach, right? They call and say, "Hey, Rebecca, this is, opportunity for you." And, same approach with my my brother and sister. Hey,
Right.
you guys are the skill set matter experts, and now I'm looking to bring in data analysis, and all kinds of other things, because although I can do data, I'd like to bring someone else in that can do those kinds of things. And so now just looking at the expansion of contracts, and then what kind of people need to be on those projects to ensure that we continue to expand.
Nice. Nice. Well, ignitechangesolutions.com, the website, check that out, all the stuff that's going on there. And there's a contact us. So if you want to get your organization plugged into what Rebecca does with Ignite Change Solutions, there's a place to get in touch with her right there. Before we let you go, I did want to ask you about the Soar Awards. Something that you've been involved with now for a number of years. For those who have no clue what Soar Radio or Soar Awards is, what can you tell us about the Soar Awards?
Yeah, so Soar Radio was founded and developed by my husband it's been about 10 10 plus years. And the Soar Awards is now moving toward 10 years. And it is a 24/7 online radio station where it has morphed into the Soar Awards. Essentially, I don't tell the story as good as my husband, but essentially, he started the radio station because he wasn't getting the opportunities that he needed. There was no radio station like this. So he became the first BDS monitored radio station. And now there's obviously more internet radio station. And so then the Soar Awards, right, was developed from that. And so now we're moving toward the 10-year mark of the Soar Awards, which we, are grateful that it has grown to the place that it's grown, where it is now the second largest in the country. And just grateful for partnerships and people around us who continue to support and grow it to the place that it is. But the visionary behind it is my husband, and I support him through the operational side, very much to what I do now in my current career, operational development. And I also go in and support the structure of the teams and how the teams function to get us to the place that we are now. And hopefully one day we will have the opportunity to hire more of me so that I can step out, and then we can watch other people win in the process. But as of right now, that is how I show up for my husband to support the show. Is I run the back, make sure that the back runs so that it shows out on the front. So
you just had your event beginning of this month.
Rebecca,
for the 6th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask.
Go ahead, Tom.
Ask, what is your sleep schedule? Is it every 4th day or every 5th day?
That is such a good. It's funny. I do. I don't know if you guys use AI a lot, but I use AI to create my schedule. And so
I do.
I will tell AI, these are all the things that I have to do this week.
Does.
Yes, this is all the things I need to do this week. And I do want to sleep. So we need to figure this out. And it's funny, my Claude AI agent told me, well, Rebecca, this is merely impossible. So you're going to have to find something that you stop doing so that you can do that. So what I did decide to do is even cut out some of the things I was doing before to get a sleep schedule. So I was actually doing more than I'm doing now. And so I'm learning, the older I get, my body doesn't function the same way that it used to. And so I cannot just go like a Energizer bunny anymore. So I do go to bed sometimes by 10 o'clock. And if it's a rough day where I had to speak yesterday, 2 sessions, then I may not go to bed till 12. But I try to be in the bed by 10 o'clock. And I'm usually up by 7 or 6. And my kids think that I'm like oversleeping. They have no idea.
Well, one of the other really great pieces of advice that I got years ago was this. It was, remember, you like to say yes to things, but every time you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. Since we're unable to clone ourselves yet, we can't be in 2 places at once. So once you do, you need to let people know if they ask you to do something and you really just can't for some reason, you're already booked or whatever it might be. When you say yes to something, you are saying no to something else. So you might as well say no to those things that
Mhm.
you know you just can't do to the best of your ability. So
Mhm.
let that alleviate you of some guilt, I guess.
Mhm. It's funny, I did a training on self-care, and I actually told them, I said, "I do not get this right, so I'm gonna tell this to you because I understand it from a contextual standpoint, but I am not getting it right." And so you are absolutely right. Sometimes we have to say no. That is the highest form of self-care, and you have to be able to say no.
Yeah, call it self-care, call it whatever
Mhm.
you need to call it, but you eventually the body says, guess what? You're taking a break whether you want to or not. And
And we
that's
don't
when
and we do not wanna get to that point. That's not good.
no,
That's
no, no. Illness overtakes us all at some point, especially if we do stuff like that to ourselves. So
yes.
Yeah.
I think I touched all the bases I was hoping to touch with you today, but if I missed anything that you would like to talk about, is there anything we didn't ask you about today that you wanted to make sure that we touch on?
No, I think you hit it. I think that was everything. So I appreciate you guys. I say yes to this because it's a Saturday. I'm not doing anything. I appreciate the opportunity.
I really appreciate you carving out the time for us, and I'm sure there's a few people that are hearing the things that you're doing, and some of them are going to want to ask you something about us, about their organization or their plans, and they might say, "Oh my gosh, she's doing so many things, she'll never have time for me." Again, Rebecca might say no if she needs to say no, but she also might say yes. So it doesn't hurt to ask. Worst thing that could happen is she says, "Sorry, no."
Mhm.
I don't know you to be a rude person, so I bet you would, unless you're really stressed out someday and you're like, "All right, I'm sorry, I'm on my last nerve."
Yeah, no, and I try to schedule time, in a way that is efficient, so I also don't waste time. I am very big on time blocking, so if
Yeah,
somebody asks me to be somewhere in a, an appropriate amount of time, there is enough time in the year to get it all done, but it just needs to not be done all in the same day, week, or month, so it needs to be
awesome,
spread out. So
awesome,
thank you.
awesome. Well, we look forward to keeping connected with you and all the things you're doing, not just with Nicne, but with everything else with Ignite Solutions, Ignite Change Solutions. Let me get that right for you, and all the other stuff. So let's make sure to keep in touch, and I'll look forward to seeing you around events around the 815. All right.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Rebecca. Bye bye.
Thank you.
All right. Before we do our recap of the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest, let's do this. Let's do our big number of the week. This week, our current race to 10 has me in the lead by 1, a score of 3-2. And our big number of the week this week is 18,000. And the answer is it lashes or launch? You sent me your guess, so I can change the score. Have you heard about NASA going back to the moon, Tom?
Yeah, I've heard rumblings about it. Yes.
All right. So I didn't realize this was coming up this fast. Mark your calendar. April. That's like next month. NASA has cleared its 322-foot Artemis 2 moon rocket for an April launch. They will have 4 astronauts on board the Artemis 2 rocket. Humankind's first trip to the moon in over 50 years. And according to the story that I read, past launches have shown a new rocket has about a 50% chance of success.
Wow.
50% chance of success. What am I missing something? Why aren't we hearing more about this moon launch next month?
Why are we going to the moon on a rocket that has a 50% chance of success? That's like, welcome to Flight 53, ladies and gentlemen. We have a 50% chance of landing in Denver and a 50% chance of crashing in Oklahoma. I'm
Oh,
sorry, that's
Lord.
not going to work.
I got a feeling they're going up to the moon, but not landing on the moon. I think they're going maybe around. I don't know. I don't have the whole story. All I know is you're getting the point because it lashes is the correct answer, and you chose
All
lashes.
right. All right.
Good. All the best. Good luck, NASA astronauts. I will be keeping
Yeah.
an eye on you, obviously. But uh, do you know anybody who is in line for getting eyebrow transplants?
Yeah, me.
you you want new eyebrows?
I do.
Uh,
No.
it's
No,
a
I
beauty.
know somebody. I know somebody who not eyebrow transplants, but she's got her eyebrow line is tattooed on,
Oh
which
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
is kind of cool. Yeah.
I've seen that. A beauty procedure that's become popular among women in recent years is the eyebrow transplant, according to the Wall Street Journal, especially those who overplucked their brows in the 90s. And now they're going on the on trend of having more of a bushy brow look. Again, careful with the trends, friends. Careful with the trends. The results are permanent, though. They are very natural looking, but they come with an eyebrow raising catch. The hairs are transplanted from the back of your head, and when they put them in the eyebrow position, they grow faster than normal brows. So you're going to be trimming your eyebrows more regularly than you did way back in the day. And it costs about $18,000 to get an eyebrow transplant. So 18,000. Answer this week is lashes. I'm plucking out the gray ones and the extra long ones. That's all I'm plucking out of. That's all I'm doing.
Just get a magic marker and go like this and make the gray ones darker.
I think what needs to be said is, the eyebrows do play a bit of a purpose on your face. They help keep things out of your eyes and stuff. So you might not want to completely get rid of your eyebrows.
Well, the other thing too is it gives it the symmetry that it needs.
Symmetry.
Otherwise, you look like a smiley face with no hair.
Symmetry is related to a lot of people's idea of beauty. So there's that too. So for what it's worth, take that for what it's worth. All right, let's do a little recap. What do you say?
Sounds good.
We had a blast Thursday night at Tabala Event Center for version 4.0 of the Masked Karaoke Trivia Contest, where 12 teams assembled to take on Tom's Trivia and perform a karaoke in front of our celebrity judges. And what happened was absolutely phenomenal. We had a $7,000 grand prize won by a team playing for Family Counseling Services, sponsored by Green State Credit Union. Congratulations to Stan, Dee, Jennifer, Lynn, Adrian, Marsha, Vicky, and Pam. They scored, I think they actually had the highest trivia score of the night. Yes, they actually did end up having the highest trivia score of the night, but if you win the grand prize, you can't win the trivia prize at the same time. So I'm sure they're happy with the $7,000 grand prize. Thanks to Medicare 411. Congratulations to them. The second highest trivia score of the night went to a team playing for Safe Families for Children, sponsored by Gemini Solar. So congratulations to Linda and Mark, Doug, Kim, Rich, Jordan, Eric, and Heidi for winning the $1,000 Jess Riley Envoy Mortgage Trivia Contest portion of our event Thursday night. And I think we all were incredibly impressed with our karaoke prize winner on Thursday night. The last team to get entered into the contest was a team playing for the Superhero Center for Autism. They had an anonymous donor cover their entry fee. So thank you, anonymous donor. But the Superhero Center for Autism showed up and they brought their singer ringer. Her name is Bella. And for those who did not hear on Thursday night, Bella's a freshman at Harlem High School.
And she is amazing.
She's amazing. And thanks to Advice Marketing, she is responsible now for the $1,000 prize karaoke winner going to the Superhero Center for Autism. So that was a fun night. I guess random thoughts for the evening, Tom, that you would like to share about how things went at Tabala on Thursday night.
Well, first and foremost, kudos to you. I know that you're not going to You're not going to pat yourself on the back, so I'm going to pat you on the back. You do an absolutely amazing job with the emceeing of it. And you picked a wonderful trivia host to co-host with you.
I got a lot of
I think
compliments.
that was your best move. That was your best move right there. No, I'm kidding. But just putting this thing together, having the vision. When you first told me about it 2 years ago or whatever it was,
Uh-huh.
I'm like, really, Greg? Really? You serious about
You think this
this?
is gonna work?
I honestly thought, yeah, I honestly thought, how is this really trivia karaoke mass? I was thinking like they're going to have these big giant fruit basket hats on up there trying to sing because of the masked karaoke
Yeah.
or whatever it is. And no, this thing came together and it's grown exponentially. I mean, the we had almost 200 people there. I want to say probably about $1.80, $1.85
Mhm.
for people, and then you add all the staff and everybody else. So yeah, there were 200 people in that building, 200 heartbeats, and every one of them enjoyed it. I can tell. I was amazed. I was absolutely amazed. I I thought the singers were good. There were some that it's karaoke. It's Japanese for tone deaf. So yeah, you're gonna get some diamonds in the rough. You're gonna get some bad ones. That's kind of the way. If they are all good, everybody's gonna get the top score. So
Right.
you're gonna have some bad ones. And by the way, karaoke actually means empty orchestra. Just so
Empty
you know. Because I guarantee you, somebody's looking it up, going, "Wait a minute, wait! It doesn't really mean that, does it?" Empty orchestra. But anyway, no. So I was just ecstatic with it, and I was tired. I wore my sandals, and I shouldn't have
Oh.
because I've got a bad foot.
Mm.
And by the, I mean, I did not go to IHOP with you guys at the end of the night because I was just feeling so tired. My legs are sore. I just wanted to go home and soak in the tub, which I did not. I went home and fell asleep on my chair.
Oh.
Woke up at about 3 a.m.
Yeah.
I was tired.
It was a great evening. And I do want to make sure I also mention our silver sponsors that help make it all possible. Anam Memory Care, which actually is right next door to Tabala Event Center. For those who don't know, the Anam Memory Care, right next door to Tabala. Thanks to Anam for that. Swift, Southwest Ideas for today and tomorrow. Rudy Valdez and his organization Swift was also one of our silver sponsors. And Lucha Cantina. Thanks to Josh and his team at Lucha Cantina for being one of our event sponsors for this version 4.0 of the Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest. A couple of things that I know I told the crowd on Thursday night, but people that didn't make it to the event didn't hear about our celebrity judges for the evening. By the way, they did great judging our karaoke. They did a wonderful job. I got all their score sheets and looked at what the notes they were taking and stuff. They took it seriously, exactly what I was hoping they would do. Emily from 97 ZOK was a judge. Mike Garrigan from WIFR, the WIFR News here in town. And then Renee, the lead singer from the Grammy Award winning band, That Girl, was our chief judge captain for the evening. They did a wonderful job. We were also hoping to have Kevin McCarthy judge, but he fell ill this week, so he wasn't able to join us. So Kevin, get well. We'll see you in October. He's already committed to come to the October 1st event, then when we do this again.
It'd be so good to see Kevin again.
He's a cool dude.
I haven't seen him in a while.
And then Whitney Martin was
Yes.
scheduled to be with us as well. She had a family emergency come up, so Whitney wasn't able to join us either on Thursday night. But all the love to Whitney Martin and all the help and encouragement she's been to this event as well. She's been a great encouragement. Same as you, Tom. When we first did this the first time in October of 2024, she was like, "How is this going to work? Is this is going to? I don't quite get the concept."
Yes.
And then once she was a judge for the first event we did in October of 2024. She's like, "Yeah, this actually worked. This is fun." And we've made some tweaks from that first event that we did. But I think we have found the sweet spot of how the night flowed.
We have.
It flowed really.
And if I could just add one, if I could add one more thing to what I was saying, it does literally take everybody to do this. It takes you, it takes Tracy, it takes me, it takes the judges, Tom, the lighting guy, Ron and Tracy with the karaoke DJ.
Yeah.
It takes everybody, even the people who are setting up the tables, the lady that was doing the bartending. I mean, my goodness, plus the people that sat in the audience. And I talked to a few of them. I talked to many of them. they're like, yeah, this is cool. This is really cool. I enjoyed it. So
It went really well. And some of the other sponsors that helped make it all possible this time around: Four Corners Wellness, of course, Medicare 411, Jess Riley Envoy Mortgage and Lucha Cantina, Green State Credit Union, Ivanuk Industrial Sales, Dragonfly and Company, the gift shop over on the Highland Shopping Center, Rock Valley Credit Union, 815 Junk Removal, David Baccioni, Ameriprise Financial, Peak Sports Club, Gemini Solar, Advice Marketing, Saunders Media, and this Gregory Saunders Realty guy, I guess I got to mention him too. He's
yeah,
in the butt. Medicare 411.
quite a character.
Thanks to Medicare 411 for catching the vision of this from the beginning and riding along with us during this wonderful, wonderful ride and making this last event possible. It's just what we did this time as far as the flow of the event goes is we have audience prizes to give away during the course of the evening. So we started the evening with an audience giveaway before the contest even started for all the teams. And this time, unlike last time, this time we actually had people willing to do the karaoke portion of the Triv or Care. the first couple of times we tried this, nobody wanted to just sing a karaoke. But this time it worked, and almost everyone, not everyone did, but almost every pair of people that we called up, at least one of them was like, yep, I'll do the karaoke for the prize. So we had some audience singers sing snippets of karaoke songs. We had some great prizes to give away, which, by the way, I want to give them a shout out today too. Those that donated prizes for the contest this time around was Sassy Mac Boys, Vittori's Auto Care, Portillo's, Victory Pickleball, Barnstormers, World Class Motor Sales, Landscape Connection, and Tanya Wallace, massage therapist, all donating prizes, and the Waterman as well. So Waterman donated the prize as well. So thanks to them for stepping up. And there's one more announcement we have yet to make public that we need to make today, Tom.
Okay.
Drum roll, please. There's no drum roll.
Yeah, no drum roll. I'll fake it. I'll air drum roll it.
We had
potato cuff.
We had another contest that was kind of offline, if you will, but online. It was the ticket sales contest amongst all the not-for-profits that were represented at the event. So whoever bought tickets to come and witness the event, when they bought their tickets online, they were asked to choose which not-for-profit they were coming to support. And the team that got the most support, the most tickets sold supporting their organization, is getting a bonus prize. And as it worked out, the team that won the trivia $1,000 prize, they're going to get a bonus check because their team, Safe Families for Children, thanks to Gemini Solar, Safe Families for Children, they were responsible for selling the most tickets to the event. So they're getting an extra couple $100 bonus because of their help getting a ticket sale. So congratulations to Safe Families for Children for rallying the troops. And it's at the last event in November, the team that won the grand prize won the ticket prize. They had the most support there as well. So that shows you something, I think. You know, you get more support, you have a better chance of winning one of the bigger prizes as well. So the only team to double up on prizes was Safe Families for Children, and that's because the ticket prize is a completely separate thing. So congratulations to them. I think that covers all the bases. I mean, we could go on and on about the stuff about the event Thursday night, but the bottom line, you're gonna start seeing a bunch of pictures on social media. You should have already seen a few from the attendees in the last couple of days. A Mother's Love did a really nice post. Oh gosh, there's been a handful of organizations that have done some really nice posts just in the last 24 to 48 hours. You're going to start seeing a bunch more because our awesome photographer, Chelsea Capriola Photography, was there that night getting all kinds of video snippets and photos. And she already sent me a handful of photos to review. And I'm like, this looks great. This looks so good. So you're going to start seeing more photos. And I want to give her a shout out right now in case I don't do an adequate job of shouting her out online, which I'm going to try to do.
She is such a nice person too, by the way.
I don't know if you can see that. There's one of the photos she took right
yeah,
there.
There you go. There you go.
Those co-hosts.
The better looking one.
Well, you're taller anyway.
Yeah, I'm taller. Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, you're gonna start seeing a whole bunch more photos like these of all these wonderful people that help make the event possible. And our lighting guy Tom O did an exceptional job. Reflex DJ. He works with Bob Fleischman at Reflex DJ out of Belvedere, and I've known Bob for years. Super guy, super talented guy, and I will say what I asked them to do and what they ended up doing these last few events is way more than I ever asked them to do. They are just over and above everything. It's been exceptional, and we already have plans in the works to take it up a notch October 1st. So look for the announcement in the next couple of months, probably in June, late June, early July. We'll announce when teams can sign up for version 5.0 of the In-Crowd 815 Mass Karaoke Trivia Contest. Next time it will be an $8,000 grand prize thanks to Medicare 411. That's right. I'm not kidding.
So
it's an
10,000 total.
10,000 total.
Wow.
Which is that first tier goal that we were going for. The next goal is, well, we'll talk about that another time.
You can't bill it as you could win 10,000 because the same team can't win. Yeah.
Not yet. But we're getting there. So all right. This has been a good show, Tom. Anything else you want to talk about this week? We really shouldn't. We don't need to talk about football this week. There's not until the draft no major stories.
Well,
the pack.
No, without getting too deep in it, but I do want to say one thing. We picked up Mike Hargraves from Minnesota, and he was with Philadelphia. He is a beast. He's going to take double teams. He's going to make it so that they can't double team Micah Parsons because he is huge. Good. He is good. Goody has made some incredible moves. This team, wow. We got rid of some dead weight. Romeo Dobbs gone. I'm glad. Rashawn Gary, I'm sorry, just dead weight. He wasn't hustling. Quay Walker, that's the one that puzzles me. I know they wanted to save money on the cap. That one puzzles me. I'm not happy about that one.
He was ready to get paid. He was ready to get paid.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Let him go. Let him go. As long as he doesn't go to the Bears or the Vikings or the Lions or anything like that. But anyway, and then there's a whole host of other things. We could literally talk for the next half hour, 45 minutes on it. So we'll save that for another time.
We'll save that for another time.
Yeah. All right. So be thinking about lunch in a week or two so we can do it again. I want to do this on a regular basis. I mean, I see you every Saturday morning. I see you every Wednesday at trivia, but we don't really get a chance to talk. I like it when we can go to breakfast or lunch. Either one works. It doesn't have to be breakfast. It can be lunch. Okay. Either one works for me. You just let me know because you're probably just a little bit busier than me. I have 3 jobs legitimately. You have like 7.
You were legitimately disappointed to me. You were legitimately disappointed in me in not eating breakfast. I did eat with you. I did eat.
Yeah, what did you have? You had a piece of toast and a packet of
hash browns and bacon. It was good. Hash browns and bacon. That was all right.
Yeah, ketchup packet and a tablespoon of sugar. Is that what you had? Yeah, half a glass of water. Yeah. No, anyway, well, yeah, lunch always works too. I love the backyard. That's my go-to. They have a lunch special there every week. It's like $10. So
I like the
really
backyard.
Think about that next time.
Backyard grill and bar is a wonderful thing.
Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah.
I'm glad I looked at my calendar here because I forgot to type something in. We do have 2 guests scheduled for next week. And we're looking at chatting with Miranda. She's with Carpenter's Place. We're going to catch up with her because she's a newer face at Carpenter's Place. Want to talk about what she's up to. And then we're also going to meet Lizzie. Lizzie is from an organization called Rockin' the Spectrum. I believe another autism-related organization that's doing some great work. So we're going to talk with Lizzie and Miranda next week. Rockin' the Spectrum and Carpenter's Place on next week's In-Crowd 815 podcast. So Be sure and join us then at 8 o'clock live if you can. We'd love to see your comments on the screen if you're watching us live and where you're watching from. But if you can't join us live, that's cool too. Join us over on Spotify or Odyssey on Amazon, which I don't really monitor much of that, but the program goes there automatically thanks to all the stuff that this thing sets up for us. So
thank you, that's kind of cool.
Spotify for creators. All right. Remember, friends, you change the world when you help one person. So be a blessing to someone this week, every single day this week. And we'll do the same and meet you back here next week for another In Crowd 815 podcast. All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, everybody.
815 In Crowd. 815 In Crowd.